I'm Rachel Tiemeyer.
I'm Conner.
And we are so excited you're here today. We are Team Thriving Home, and we are going to be cooking through session 8 with you today.
Yep, we are making 6 meals in 1 hour. So hopefully you have this printed off and in front of you, but we're going to give you a visual tutorial of what we're going to be cooking here. So one thing that's going to make this go a lot faster is you get all your ingredients out. So as you can see, we've got lots of fresh ingredients here. So every recipe in this has a lot of flavor. And we think these are really good summertime recipes, but really they'll work for any time of the year. So they're really, really good.
Yeah, and here's what we're making. Turkey pesto paninis. The beauty of these is not only are they very flavorful, they only have a few ingredients, and you package them individually so you can pull out what you need at a time. You can take them on vacation, you can take them camping.
Good grab and go meal.
Absolutely. The second recipe we're making is lemon garlic shrimp, or you can use chicken if you prefer. And what I love about this is you're just making a super flavorful marinade for this, and you'll toss the shrimp in it at the last minute. And last night I threw these on the grill and I made little kebabs of them, and they got devoured by my family. It's delicious.
Kids like shrimp?
My kids do like shrimp. Absolutely, yeah.
50-50 around here.
Are they? Well, that's you can make chicken. There you go.
Exactly.
The third recipe is our cheesy chive burgers, and these are an absolute home run. I don't know of a man, woman, or child, other than maybe a vegetarian, that wouldn't eat these burgers. I'm telling you, they're so good. All right, so we ready to get cooking?
Let's do it.
Get cooking? Let's do it.
We are on step 1 and we are prepping our freezer bags. Now, as you can see, Rachel already got a head start on this, so make sure you use your pause button if you need to catch up and get all that done. Another tip is write the date created and any of the side dish ideas that we have in your packet on it before you attach the label. That way you don't have to be like rustling over food and trying to write on bumpy surfaces. And then Rachel's using packing tape. We also have some other options on how to attach your label, which we haven't mentioned in any other prep sessions. So this is special.
Yeah, really. You can try masking tape. I've had luck with that. If you have masking tape on hand, it's not as pretty. But sometimes that packing tape does. Once it gets frozen, if it freezes in a weird, funky way, if it gets bumped in the freezer, it can get knocked off the bag. So experiment with some other tapes. I mean, duct tape really does hold it. Back in the day when I was in a freezer club for 7 years, we did a lot of duct tape. But for these panini sandwiches, you've been given 4 labels. That's because you probably will need 4 freezer bags for this one to stuff all your sandwiches in there because they're pretty big. But for those, they're going to be individually wrapped in foil, so you can just stuff the label down in the bag and then put the sandwiches in there. And actually, that's probably your best bet for that one.
Another option is stapling. So just staple to the top edge of the bag. Don't staple to this part if it has food in it because that'll put a hole in it.
Yeah.
So that's another option if you're not having much luck with the packing tape.
Yeah. So finish up your labels and meet us here for step 2.
We're on step 2. We are going to prep all of our produce all at once. Again, just a huge time saver to do that all at one time. So this first step on step 2 is to mince your garlic. Now, as you probably noticed on your shopping list, there's a lot of garlic in this prep session. Now, fear not. A lot of it's just for your marinade. You're not going to be eating all this garlic. So if you, as a time saver, one thing we always recommend, I feel like in every prep session we say this.
Yeah. But this one in particular, you put in the shopping list, buy the pre-minced garlic.
Pre-minced garlic right here. Save yourself a lot of time.
Yeah, this will keep it to an hour.
Yes. So we are going to use this, but we're also just going to show you how to mince a garlic clove just in case this is the only prep session you're watching and you don't know how to do it. So Rachel's going to show us how to do that.
So here's your garlic bowl. This will probably have, I don't know, 10 plus actual garlic cloves in it. One of the ways to open this, because they're pretty tight, I'm going to move your knife out of the way here, is I use a mason jar or just something with a heavy bottom, and you just kind of get at it.
Reverberated there.
Yeah, sorry. So you just get at it. Get a kid. They like to do that. Their son Tyler would probably like to do that.
He would like that.
All right, so now I've broken them all apart, and I'm going to find one. They've got a little skin on them. The other thing you can do is take that same mason jar, or you can take the flat edge of your knife and use...
Oh, sorry, you were going to...
Yeah, I'm going to use it real quick. But you can smash it like that. And what that does, what's cool, is it just takes that skin right off of there. So now I'm ready to mince my garlic. So I'm just going to get in there. I keep the tip of my knife on the board and just making little chops like this, watching my fingers, keeping them out of the way. Polly's always nervous when I do this.
I am. I don't know why I get nervous like watching you chop things. I'm like, no, just don't do it on camera.
I feel like you're saying something about my knife skills.
No, you're probably better than I am, but I don't know. Just watching someone else chop something really small.
And here's a really fun thing is keep the tip on at the end, and then you can kind of do this motion, a rocking motion back and forth over the garlic.
Yep.
And you do want to get it pretty finely minced because some of these are going into your burgers and you don't want to take a big giant bite of garlic.
Blech.
Yeah.
Another option, if you have a garlic press, I'm not sure if you've ever seen one of these little guys. I got one of these before I even knew what it was. My dad gave it to me. Richard gave it to me when I was like 18. I'm like, what is that for? Like, that's what you do with this thing. But it's essentially you do the same thing. You get the peel off the garlic and you just put it in there and you just squish it out and it just gives you more of like more of a pureed garlic almost.
Yeah. So there's your options for garlic.
Yeah.
Okay,
Rachel, you have garlic on your forehead.
Stop it.
I'm not joking.
It's really in the
It was
kitchen.
the garlic.
I did touch my head. I feel it. It's still on there.
It's gone now.
All right. Hey, we're friends. This is what friends do. We cook in the kitchen.
I should have not told her and let her just
That would
cook
be
with
awesome.
it.
Yeah. Friends don't do that. Okay, what's up next?
If you were doing this video, if that was the case.
I'm stripping the leaves.
Yes, so work
Okay.
on the rosemary. How do you
Yes.
strip the leaves off the rosemary?
All right.
I
Oh,
sit here and
man.
smell it.
Hey, what's this rosemary smell like?
Christmas.
Oh, Christmas. Yeah, it's kind of lemony but piney.
Yeah.
Piney. Great to pair with lemon, and that's what we're gonna do.
Yep.
So you get your rosemary stems, and you're gonna strip it. So pull these leaves off. Oops, I pulled the top off. But pull these leaves off.
It's kind of fun to do.
It is
You just
fun to
hold
do.
the top of it and just like.
So there's one.
Wow.
Wow, that's a really long guy. I don't know if I need. That's like worth two right there.
I just did one.
You did one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you keep track of how
I
many
think
you
this
did.
should be.
Okay, you did 4 rosemary. Yeah, since these are big, I would count that as 3. There's 4 there.
Yeah, I think so too.
Do you grow your own rosemary?
I do.
You do.
Every year. It's
Yep.
one of those, I grow things that don't die easily. Polly is the plant lady.
Perennials.
Yeah,
No.
you are the plant lady.
Oh, no, the annuals. Sorry, I did that wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know I've become a plant lady for sure.
No, the annuals die each year.
Yeah, that's right. Perennials come back. That's right.
Perennially,
Yes.
they come back.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got our rosemary. And then again, we're just kind of doing what we did with the garlic. Tip of the knife down. I'm going to kind of start running my knife through here very slowly, deliberately. And it's worth saying that a sharp knife is very important here. In fact, I linked to, in this prep session, we've got some links in it if you want to pull it up on your phone or on your computer and click on our Amazon store. And I've linked to just a $10 knife sharpener. I use it all the time. And that helps a lot. And it's actually safer. A sharper knife is safer because it won't slip and that kind of thing.
That makes sense. While Rachel's finishing, anything else on the rosemary you want to mention?
I don't think so. I'm just going to get it, again, pretty fine chop on this. A mince. It's going in your marinade for your shrimp.
Yeah. So feel free to pause and finish that up if you haven't moved as fast as we have with the garlic and the rosemary. But if you are faster than us, then you're waiting on the sun-dried tomatoes. So I'm not going to take these out right now because we're just going to put them straight in the sandwich. But I wanted to point out, if you couldn't find the julienne cut ones, like if you can only find the halves, sometimes they come jarred in halves, you'll need to chop those finely because you don't want a huge bite of sun-dried tomato. Also worth mentioning is you need the ones that are in the jar, not the dried. Wait, say canned in oil, is that what the phrase I'm looking for?
I think so.
So
Jarred
yeah,
in oil,
basically
yeah.
jarred in oil. So I have also made that mistake. I ordered online once and they gave me the dried sun-dried tomatoes and I tried them on their turkey pesto paninis and I felt like I was like chewing like.
So what if somebody is watching and you're like, oh crap, I bought the packaged ones. I'm wondering if you could maybe throw those in your food processor and add a little like olive oil to them or something and just kind of give it a little zhuzh and, soften them up and get them pretty small.
Yeah, that would
I
work.
think that might work.
Yep.
Okay, got the rosemary.
Okay.
I'm just finishing up mincing.
Yep, and we have chop up step 3 was drain and chop the sun-dried tomatoes if they aren't already. So we're not going to do that because they're already chopped. I guess we could drain them. Probably need to drain them.
Yeah, we'll drain
We
those.
will. And then step 4 is going to be cut lemons and squeeze 12 tablespoons of juice into a glass measuring cup.
So, do you have a glass measure?
Yes, we didn't get it out.
I forgot to get that out.
Oopsie.
See, we didn't do what we told you to do.
See,
Just
now,
listen to us. Don't
now
do
it
what
just
we
took
actually
30
do.
more seconds than it
Oh my
should
gosh.
have.
All the time.
Okay.
Let me hear it. Okay, how about, do you want to be the juicing person?
Sure.
I'll chop them here.
Yep.
So you want to show them our trick to not get...
Yes.
What's your trick for not getting seeds in the lemon juice?
I'm kind of lazy about it, to be
Okay.
honest. Sometimes I just squeeze it all in there and then I just fish them out with a fork. Okay, so that's one way.
And that's pretty
The
good.
chefs would not recommend that, okay? So another trick is to just squeeze it over your hand and then the seeds will fall out, and you'll see how I already caught 4 seeds right there?
So
That's the juice
if
in it.
just hypothetically you slammed your thumb in a van door recently,
Might have happened.
and
I'm like really avoiding my thumb.
does it hurt your thumb?
You see my
Oh,
thumb? I'm really trying to avoid like lemon
These
juice
are, like,
getting on it.
that's a total mom injury right there.
Oh, it was
I'm so
awful.
sorry.
I have never had
I'm
something
so
like that.
sorry.
Okay. Anyway.
Okay, so we want 12 tablespoons of lemon juice. This again is going into this marinade that you're just building so much flavor. So we're gonna keep squeezing until we get 12 tablespoons.
I can't squeeze them in left hand. I'm serious.
Okay.
Like we gave the wrong person the wrong
Oh,
job.
show them your trick.
I
with
do have a
the,
trick.
Where's your
Okay.
thing? You're
So-
like we're in Holly's kitchen. You're cooking.
Okay,
this.
so one thing I do, actually more with limes and lemons, 'cause I feel like lemons squeeze out a lot easier, is I just find something with like leverage that you can just squeeze it easier
What
with.
are you using there?
So this is a can opener. Look at that. Look how much more juice comes out of that
Oh, yeah.
when you're using something like that. A can opener works fine, or I've used...
You know what I use?
You
Want to see what I use? This is my party trick. My kids think it's kind of funny. I don't know if you will. Ready?
They're going to have lemon juice all over your face.
With the garlic.
And your lips.
I will smell like lemon garlic shrimp.
So what
Okay.
I was going to say, after you do all those, I just really just fish these out, like,
Yeah.
just like that. Just
That
if you want to
takes
be
a lot of
lazy
juice.
and do our party tricks.
How are we doing there on 3/4 cup?
Yes.
We got a little ways
Okay.
to go.
I know we do. We got to get working on these.
All right, so we're squeezing lemons, and maybe you're squeezing lemons along with us. We do suggest using fresh lemons. It makes such a huge difference. But if you took the shortcut and you bought the lemon juice, that's totally fine. I'm going to move on to chopping up some parsley and some chives, okay? This parsley is going to go in our burgers, as are the chives. So you want to get a real fine chop on these as well. So we're practicing our chopping skills today. I took 1 bunch of parsley here. I got it at the store. I rinsed it, and then I kind of tore off mostly the leaves, because with parsley you want to avoid those long stems. It doesn't taste good. You kind of get a bite of that stem. It's
But not so
good.
with cilantro, right?
Oh dear.
My trick is failing. I probably would have been using my
wanna
hands.
switch
If my
jobs?
lefty wasn't hurt, I would just
switch jobs because you're
You know
injured.
what? I'm almost done. Look at
Okay,
this. I got
okay.
it.
So how many lemons did you end up using for 3/4 cup this
I'm
time?
just laughing at my goofiness. I'm like throwing things. Okay.
Dang.
So for 2/3 cup, we did 1, 2, 3, 4 lemons there.
For
Right.
3/4 cup, you
Oh,
got 3/4
no, we did
cup.
2/3 cup.
We need 3/4 cup.
You're right.
3/4.
You're right. I looked at the
3/4.
wrong step. I looked at the parsley step.
Yeah.
I will keep squeezing.
Okay, keep going, girl.
Left
We
hand.
can push through. Eye on the prize.
Oh, poor left hand.
All right. So I'm chopping up this parsley pretty finely, and you want to get about 2/3 cup of chopped parsley. So anyway, what I was saying was I bought a big bunch. I bought a big bunch from the store, rinsed it, and pulled off the leaves. And I'm honestly, I'm gonna check here how much of that bunch I need for 2/3 cup. So is this a 1/3 cup?
Yep.
Okay. Let me just do a little
Eyeball
eyeballing situation. I did not chop these enough. I think it's gonna take about half a bunch to get to 2/3.
And that's what's tricky is sometimes stores will bundle these differently.
Right.
So like when we say 1 bunch, you really
I know.
need to like be a little more mindful of how much you need in the
Yeah.
end. Okay, I got 3/4. I got more than
Okay,
3/4.
there you go. Okay, so we use 6 lemons.
that's
So
perfect.
don't cut all your lemons, because if
Right.
you don't need 8, you don't want to chop up 8. You
Right.
can save that for later.
But some lemons just are like a little more dried out. You know, you don't get as much
Right.
juice out of them, and some are big and juicy. So,
Yep, exactly.
one little trick I've heard is you throw your lemon peel down your garbage disposal and just run it, and that's like a natural cleaner for your garbage disposal.
Ooh.
So I'm not sure.
What was that other trick you told me?
I haven't
cleaning your
used
shower?
it. Okay, but I saw it like on Instagram, right? So
Instagram knows all.
Instagram knows all. What they did, I kind of blew my mind, is they put baking soda on the lemon and then they just rubbed it on the glass, and it like got rid of the hard water stains. I should try that for
We
this.
have
It's lots of
terrible
moisture.
hard water.
Yeah, I
here.
can't get
That's
anything
a
off
weird-
those, and I don't want to chemicals don't even work. So
Yeah.
I should try it, and
Yeah.
maybe I'll show it on Instagram
All
stories.
natural.
Let's see if it actually
Yeah,
works.
I like it. Okay, I think I got enough parsley here, and I'm moving on. This is my last produce, right? So you got some chives. Let me show you something. Polly and I each grow our own chives, and honestly, it's probably, wouldn't you say, the easiest herb
It came
to
back.
grow? It
I
comes
thought for
back.
sure, yeah.
I moved into a house 6 years ago. It was in my garden. It just kept coming back. We actually transplanted it to a pot.
Yeah.
I do nothing to it.
Yeah.
Literally nothing.
It was
I
very
might water it in the middle of summer. Comes back. So I just chopped this off my plant this morning. But if you go to the store, it's usually packaged like this. So you'll need 2 of these. I actually mince these to make sure you get 3 tablespoons per package.
So they look like these in there. They're they're not already minced in the package.
Yeah. So again, I'm just doing a fine mince on these guys, and they're gonna go in our burgers. Can you tell that there's gonna be a lot of flavor?
A lot of fresh ingredients.
Flavor.
That's why this is a good summertime recipe too. Is if you grow your own herbs, this would be a great way to use them up. Is you got the rosemary, the parsley, and the chives, which I have all right now actually.
Do you already?
Minus rosemary. I don't have any rosemary.
Yeah,
but
I gotta get some in my garden.
A little parsley.
ASAP.
Yep. I also love growing basil. That's one of my favorite things to grow. Yeah, for the pesto.
Well, and we're using pesto today in the turkey pesto paninis, and I linked to our homemade pesto recipe. It's delicious. In fact, we recommend making your own if you have extra
100%.
time. Yep. We didn't leave that in the 1 hour prep because it takes just a ton more time. How long do you think it takes?
To make pesto, so you gotta get more dishes out, food processor. It probably takes like 15 minutes, you know?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, not even that. I would say from start to finish, from like food processor to like cleaning it up, probably 15 minutes. So someday, really you're just putting everything in there and just pushing processing it. So
someday when we launch our 1 hour and 15-minute freezer prep, we'll include that, okay? Just doesn't have the same ring.
We should have bonus.
Yeah, there you go.
Bonus item.
Bonus. Yeah. Okay, I think I've got this ready to go. We've got all of our produce prepped, and we're going to move on to step 3. So we're on step 3. We're going to prep the shrimp marinade, and Polly's going to get started over here. For this marinade, it's pretty simple. It's 1/2 cup of olive oil in each of the shrimp bags.
And I'm using my bag holders here. We link to those in our Amazon store that we link to for all the stuff for this, right? Yep.
Okay, next up you're going to use 1/2 of this lemon juice we squeezed out. So 6 tablespoons of lemon juice per bag.
Just eyeballing that.
Yeah, and if you don't have these baggie holders, we've said it a million times, you could use a bowl, maybe even smaller than this one, just to stand that bag up and give it some stability. Next up, 1/2 the garlic you chopped into each bag. So we divided it in 1/2, and she's using
a food mover, or it's also called a chef's hand. We've seen a lot of names for it, but it's pretty handy for if you do a lot of recipes that have like a lot of chopped ingredients because it moves it all at once.
Which you'll also use that for 1/2 the rosemary. So divide your rosemary in 1/2 and put 1/2 in each bag. Yep. And after you're done with that, we're gonna make sure there's some salt in there. Definitely need to add some salt. So 1.5 teaspoons of salt per bag. One of the things though that we neglected to mention is this is a great marinade to double. So if you have the ingredients on hand and you want to double it, because at the end, like I mentioned earlier, you're going to turn this into a sauce, and it is so good. This sauce is so yummy. It's like if you ever had shrimp scampi, it's kind of that flavor. So you can use it over the shrimp at the end after you boil it, and you can also use it over pasta, which is delicious.
It works great for chicken too. Did we mention that? You can put chicken instead of the shrimp.
Right.
So by now you've already made that decision.
Yeah. 1/2 teaspoon of pepper and 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. So as you do that, so one of the things you'll notice in this recipe is we're not having you put your frozen shrimp or your fresh shrimp directly into this marinade bag. We're going to have you freeze those separately. And this is intentional. Polly and I have learned this over the years. We both have been in freezer clubs for years with friends. And we tried shrimp. We tried it in a marinade, frozen it. And I don't know about you, but mine turned out kind of half cooked,
yummy,
mushy.
Yeah.
So it's just best to freeze the marinade by itself and leave the shrimp out. However, if you have chicken, throw your chicken in there. Right. The chicken is much more
Chicken
forgiving.
can handle it.
Chicken can handle it.
Shrimp cannot.
Got it all in there?
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna close that up and seal it. Squeeze out all that air because air is the enemy of good freezer food, as you know. And give it a little toss, a little shake, a little squish, or whatever. And set that aside, because in our next step, we're going to put together our shrimp kit for the freezer.
We're on step 4, and we are making our shrimp meal kits. Now, this is pretty easy. All you're going to do is put your marinade and your shrimp in a bag together. So, yes, watch this. It's very complicated. Take notes. Pause if you need to. Zooming in. Here we go. Done. Just kidding. Okay, now one thing serious about shrimp. It's really important. Again, hopefully you bought the right kind of shrimp, but it needs to be uncooked because you are going to cook it already, or in our recipe. So uncooked, deveined, preferably tail is already off and the shell is already off.
Either way. Tail on or off, that
Right.
doesn't
It
matter
saves you
so
a step.
much.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what we prefer. And you can buy it frozen. That was a little confusing to me. It was like raw but frozen. When we say raw, we mean just uncooked.
Yeah.
So, but it can be in the freezer bag or frozen like that. So you just like freeze it like this.
So then when you're ready to make your meal later, what you're gonna do is you'll actually thaw your shrimp, which takes no time at all. You throw it in a colander, run some cold water over it.
Thaws really fast.
Yeah, and then you're gonna dump your shrimp into your marinade, let that marinate for about 30 minutes in the fridge. That's all it takes. So this is a fast meal. Like you can actually thaw it, marinate it, cook it, easy under an hour, easily. So there you go. You got 2 meals down, a few more to go.
Let's do it. We are on step 5. We are assembling the turkey pesto paninis, and we decided I would be in charge of this step because I love these paninis.
Yes.
So anyway, Rachel's going to walk me through as if I don't know what to do. Going to start with putting a slice of cheese on each piece of the bread on the top and bottom.
And it's worth saying too that
Right.
we're using the same chopping board that we chopped our produce on. We just kind of wiped it down,
rinsed it.
opened up our ciabatta. These guys.
Right.
I found these at Walmart, and a friend of ours in Nashville, so we live in Missouri, a friend of ours in Nashville found them at her Walmart too. They are like the perfect size, and they just break
They're
apart.
light, and they're already sliced.
Yeah,
They're
and they
great.
actually have minimal ingredients. They don't have a bunch of junk in them.
Yeah, they're not whole wheat, but it's.
Yeah.
We found that I feel like when you get whole wheat ciabatta bread, it's kind of like really dense. Because there's some that we've gotten
It's
at our
hard to
store.
find anyway.
Right. Yep. Now we have a slice of cheese on the top and bottom because that kind of serves as the glue for when you're pressing this down. I've tried just doing it on one side of it. It just doesn't work as well. So this is what will make it kind of seal up. Now I'm also only doing 1 batch at a time. So you're going to be making 12. You might need to do 6 at a time like I am because the cutting board only has so much room. So perfect.
This also protects the bread from getting soggy because we're going to go ahead and put pesto on next.
Yep. All right.
So you're going to put, you're going to use a total of 2 teaspoons of pesto on each slice of cheese.
Right.
So we're going to eyeball that. That's a good eyeball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's
That's
like
about
I've done
2
this once or
teaspoons.
twice.
That's a good amount of pesto, but it's so good. Like
Yeah. This is really up to you too. If you just love it, glop it on there. But if this is
so
kind of for the
Polly,
family.
you dug out your homemade pesto
Yep.
out of her freezer.
Yep. I'm kind of a pesto snob. I really, really like the homemade recipe, and we can link to that in our show notes.
We've got a good one on Thriving.
The hard thing is basil really only grows in the summer. Like if you're going to grow your own basil, so I'm just going to go back and finish up this pesto. This is just kind of me. I don't want to waste this last little bit.
Well,
but
we got another batch, but yeah.
Oh, true. Yes, you're right. I have another batch of this. So I'm just going to use this.
But this has been frozen. So we're filming this in April. So you froze this last summer. And this stays frozen for like 9 months.
Yeah,
easy.
it works great to freeze.
Yeah. Okay, so you've got lots of pesto on there.
Yes.
Now you are moving on to sun-dried tomatoes.
Yes.
So just put 2 teaspoons of our chopped sun-dried tomatoes on the bottom of each
I'm going
bun.
to use my hands for this.
Yeah,
because that's just going to be a
just do
little
a pinch.
tricky.
So
Okay.
just do it on the bottom.
I'm just going to sprinkle them on there like that.
Yeah.
And these are the ones I chopped earlier. So, and try to spread them out as much as you can. They like to kind of cling together, so you might just have to that's why I want to sprinkle from high up.
Yeah.
because they'll fall on there and everything.
So Polly's husband right now is commuting to and from seminary a few times a week. He's going for his master's in counseling, right?
Yep.
So you were just saying, like, this is a great,
I did them all.
a great
I did
meal
for this,
to send with him to lunch,
Yep.
right? Because he can, like, what does he do? Pop it in the
He just
microwave
warms them
there?
up. Yeah.
Okay.
Technically we'd want them like to press them out like on a panini maker or something, but he just warms them up and he likes them like that. So.
Okay, so now we've got a pound of turkey because now we're doing one batch.
Just kidding.
So we're doing one batch at a time. So this is a pound of turkey. She's going to evenly divide amongst 6 sandwiches.
Yeah. Again, just eyeballing here.
Yeah.
So this is deli. I like the deli sliced turkey just because it just, I don't know, feels less
it's slimy. No additive.
It doesn't last as long in the fridge as like the packaged kind, but this is going in the freezer, so it's going to be fine for you. So we recommend it straight from the deli, but
So you're building that on the bottom of your bun, and then when she's done dividing those up, she's going to carefully take the top bun and smush it onto the bottom.
Yep.
And over here, I had also done this beforehand, which I instructed you in your instructions, is you've torn up 12 pieces of foil. I might have gotten a little too big on these, but, square, basically. because you're gonna individually wrap each of these sandwiches. Here you go, girl.
I think I'm gonna do this way.
You're going bottom to top.
Well, I didn't want that pesto to fall off in the flip.
Hey, good call.
There you
that
go.
was genius.
Pro move right there. Like,
So I'm gonna work on wrapping these up. So this is probably the most tedious part of this prep session. It's not hard, obviously,
right.
but it's just a little time consuming. So,
Right.
you know.
Want to get all the ingredients set out and to do the assembly line and wrapping these all up, and then times 2.
Right. So I gave you freezer labels for 2 bags per meal here because our testers were like, hey, we can only fit about 3 or 4 of these giant sandwiches in each of these freezer bags. But I was going to show you a tip here. So this is what my ciabatta rolls came in, and I do this for my kids. I make them breakfast sandwiches on these ciabatta, and then I just stuff them back in this bag because they're already individually wrapped with the foil, and you can easily stack a bunch of them, and then I just tie it off like that.
Kind of saves more plastic.
Yeah, save plastic. So that's another idea for you.
Yep.
We're going to finish up these sandwiches, and we will meet you back here for the next step. So have fun putting yours together.
We are on step 6. We are going to make the burger patties, and I'm going to make Rachel do the dirty work. I'm going to do the nice clean work. So the first step is under step 1 under step 6. How do we say that?
I said step 6, part 1.
Part 1. Okay, part 1 of step 6 is you're going to, we used freezer bag and a container just to show you the differences here. So we've already attached our labels to these, and one little trick I wanted to show you. So you know how with parchment paper, it can roll up like when you're trying to put it in something? Here's my trick. To get it to lay flat, you crumple it up, and then look.
What's that parchment?
It's going to blow your mind.
You gotta tell
There we
me
go.
what that parchment
Yes,
for.
it's to separate the burgers. So for the freezer bag, like if you put all those burgers on top of each other, they're going to get into one big burger ball. That's a term. Big burger
You
ball.
don't like a burger ball? Sounds like some awesome would eat.
So it helps separate the layers of burgers. But I just wanted to show you that trick if you ever want parchment paper to lay flat, even like when you're making cookies or something. I feel like a lot of times I'm wrestling my parchment paper. Just crumple it, and then you can lay it in so to separate the layers. So,
okay, what do I got? What am I putting in here?
Yes, in a large bowl, you're going to use your hands or fork to gently combine 2/3 cup chopped parsley.
Got my parsley in there.
Okay, we're going to talk it out so they can follow along with us here. Yep. 6 tablespoons of minced chives.
Got that.
Check.
All the chives that you did.
4 teaspoons of pre-minced garlic. Did you put that in there?
No.
Oh.
There, I need
You
that.
almost forgot the garlic. Yeah. And then here's your, do you have a teaspoon right there? Yeah, you got them.
Teaspoon.
Okay. So 4 teaspoons of that. Or if you've already minced your garlic, you're going to scoop it into there. But most likely you did the pre-minced
Do I
garlic.
have any on my head that needs to go in?
You're good. You're clear of garlic.
Okay.
We're good. Okay. There's nothing in your teeth either. Okay. 1 tablespoon of salt. So we're saying a tablespoon feels like a lot, but remember this is 4 pounds.
Yeah,
of ground
exactly.
beef.
And a lot of times, I mean, you kind of think 1 teaspoon of salt per pound ground beef.
Is that kind of roughly what you do?
It's kind of, like chef-wise.
Good.
So we're even
That's
doing
what the
less than
chefs
that.
do.
That's right.
After that, you're going to do 1.5 teaspoons of black pepper.
It's usually a 1 teaspoon to a 1/2 teaspoon black pepper.
Yeah, seems like that's usually how it works out. All right, after that, we're going to do 3 cups of shredder. Get your shredder
cheese.
Get that shredder cheese out.
All right, so I have, how many cups here?
It's
That's
2 cups usually per bag.
All right, so you can either shred your own cheese,
Yeah.
which actually melts better.
Yeah, it does.
Or you can just take the shortcut like we did. So here's 2 cups.
Yeah,
we call
dump
for,
it all in.
that's right.
There you go.
We call for sharp, but if you can't find sharp, it's totally fine. It just adds more flavor when it's sharp, I think.
Yep.
But, okay, so I'm going to use half of
Yep,
this. So that's
half
3
of that.
cups.
We eyeball that. That's one of those ingredients that can be
Yeah.
guesstimated.
And so, by the way, on this, I'm dairy free, so I don't actually add the cheese to my burgers, and these still turn out great.
So yummy.
Yeah, the herbs keep
Got a lot
them
of flavor.
really moist.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you want to just kind of gently get this combined. I mean, don't work at it too long, because one of the things that can happen with burgers is if you over mix them, they just get kind of dense and become little hockey pucks, and we don't want that.
No hockey puck.
No hockey pucks. So the key is getting like the herbs in every little bite, but not. So I kind of like. I mean, you got to go in with your hands. I kind of stick.
Yeah,
my
there's
fingers
no
down
way
in
to do
there.
this with a spoon. You just got to get your
Nah.
wings off and get down and dirty with it.
Yeah. So I pull it from the bottom to the top and kind of shove it down in there.
Yep.
So,
How do you know when you're done? Just when it's evenly mixed?
I know, it kind of looks evenly
Just
mixed
eyeball
to
it,
me.
yeah.
Yeah. And even sometimes, I don't know, don't get too particular about it. It'll be
It's a burger.
It'll work out. And then you're going to,
fine.
right, it's got cheese in it. Like if every bite has cheese in it, it's going to be good. Okay, that looks fairly combined to me. So now I'm going to kind of spread it gently across the bottom like that. And then I'm going to score it in half because remember we're making 2 batches here. Okay, so for each half I'm making 6 burgers. So we're making 3rd pounders. I like a 3rd pounder.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
What do you like? I know. What are you saying?
A big burger.
I do like a big burger.
See, I lean towards more like this small. We have a smash burger recipe that I've been partial to on our website. I don't like a ton of ground beef.
You don't. Well, I find that for some reason if I don't do a 3rd pound when I'm grilling, it like shrinks up into
it does. It kind of
yeah. So we're gonna do what I was just doing there is then I'm going to make 6. I'm gonna score it like 6 pie slices on each side.
Kind of drawing lines a little bit. Just
and then I'm gonna make a loose little ball that I would say is
about a tennis ball.
Okay, I like the tennis ball. Yeah, maybe about a tennis ball size. Okay, I've just got it like that. Going to smash this guy out. You could put it like literally in the little container you're using. Although that's not working too well. I like to do it like this. I just use my hands to gently form it. I don't like how it falls apart on the edges.
I know.
Here. I want it to kind of stay together. But here's one of the tips I want to show you. Once you get it kind of in a burger form, you want to make an indentation on the inside. You want it to be thinner on the inside than on the outside because when it grills, it'll just shrink up and you'll have kind of like Mount Vesuvius in the middle, and that's not doesn't work well on a bun. Nor does it cook evenly. So that'll help it cook evenly.
Yeah.
There.
And they freeze perfectly. Yep. Okay. These are such a good freezer meal to have on hand. I love having burgers that we can, because they thaw out pretty quickly too.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those meals that you're like 5 o'clock, like,
what am I gonna make?
Totally. You know, I feel like they can thaw out a lot faster than like a casserole or something.
Yeah. But ideally, you know, when you're thawing a freezer meal, here's the ideal you're shooting for.
Yes.
Is you're thinking ahead. So one of the things, like, what do you do? Tell them what you do, like, each week to make sure you use your freezer
I'm going to get it,
meals.
Actually. Okay. I'll walk over here. We weren't planning on this, but we'll play on the fly.
There we go.
You don't know this. I got, like, a new one. It's a new menu plan thing. I really like it.
Fancy.
So we do have one on our site that's printable and free. And
what is that?
Put that
a menu planner,
yes.
Right.
So we could do that. I originally laminated that one on our site, and then I would write over it with the dry erase marker, but here's the problem I was running into. My dry erase markers kept disappearing when I needed them. My kids would like take the dry erase markers and not come back, and I was getting so annoyed. So I finally just bought one that's disposable.
A little notepad.
Yes, but okay. So basically, a menu plan every week, and hopefully you do too. If you're meal prepping, my guess is that you're thinking ahead about meals, which is awesome. Good job. So I love to write out. I go on Saturdays, just write out everything that I'm gonna make, and so like even tonight when I make dinner, I'm going to look at tomorrow and be like, is there anything I need to pull out of the freezer just so I'm not, like scrambling an hour before dinner to try to thaw the chicken out, So I just plan ahead. If I have it in front of my nose, then I don't have to think. I'm telling you.
And so, like, if it's a freezer meal, do you put a little note to yourself, like, freezer or something like that, or do you kind of
if you need to, I feel like I just kind of intuitively know, but you know, if my husband were going to be in charge of dinner that night or something, I would probably make a little notation of it, just like it's in the freezer. Right.
So ideally you want to pull your freezer meal out at least 24 hours in advance, if not 48, depending on how big of a freezer meal it is, and then thaw it in the refrigerator.
Yep.
And that's the best way to thaw, I would say, especially for something like burgers. But the other night, I was in a big hurry, and I pulled them out, I would say like an hour and a half before dinner time. I pulled these burgers out, and I did them in the microwave. So I used the defrost. Yeah.
They didn't cook too much?
So the downside to using your microwave is it kind of cooks it a little bit on the edges.
Yeah.
But you know what? I threw them on the grill.
Burgers are probably a little more tolerant.
It's a little more forgiving.
I'm gonna say you can't do that with shrimp or even like a thin chicken or anything like that.
But the good thing is, like with the shrimp that you guys are making, actually I give you this tip. That is one of the easiest to thaw. There's your 6 burgers.
Yep.
Because
it thaws out so fast.
You can throw it in a colander when it's frozen. Throw it in a colander and just run some cold water over it. and it
Look at that. Ready to
Yay.
go.
Well done.
So, and we also link to these containers in our Amazon store. We both really like these. I like the clear top that you can see, and then the lids are really flexible, easy to get into. They stack up real easily.
All right, I need a bag, girl. There we go. These look so pretty too, with all the herbs in them.
This would be a great meal to take to someone too. I feel like if you when you package them up with the bun and cheese, that would be such a good meal for like a new parent or someone who just needs a easy dinner. Oh, sorry, that parchment should have been in there.
One of our several of our recipe testers were saying that one of the things they do with a meal like this is they'll take a shortcut and like buy tater tots or oven fries from the freezer section at the store, and then they freeze it, you know, along with this burger kit. And so then all you do is pull it out, and you could even put like frozen peas and, you know, your oven fries and your burger kit and pull that out.
That would be a great,
that'd be good.
We should have added that to our shopping list. Tater tots.
I think it's on page 2 of your packet. Like we give you lots of ideas of how to serve, and I think I put that in there.
So Rachel is the 1 hour prep session. Let's say, what would you say? The author? We collaborate on ideas,
so
but when you're definitely like the recipe developer. Let's say that. Yes. And so then I kind of take the pieces when she kind of gets the recipe to share you a little behind the scenes team. So I kind of am more of like the project manager. So I take what Rachel has and get it to you.
Yeah.
It's kind of how it works.
Holly's marketing queen. If you follow us on Instagram, she's behind Instagram, and this girl can sell. It cracks me up. Yeah, you crack me up just naturally. Like she loves it. You're so good on camera.
I should have gone into sales.
I would say I've always been like a teacher, and you're sales.
I'm like, how can I make money off you teaching?
I mean, weren't you like a drama major for a hot second?
Like a minute, you know? So like I loved theater in high school. I loved it. And I thought I wanted to be a theater teacher.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I didn't want to like go into theater professionally. I wanted to be like a drama teacher. And I think the part of it is I really, really loved my drama teacher in high school. And she was kind of a role model. I was like, I want to be her. And so I got to college and I took one theater class. I was like, these people are weird. No offense.
Say that.
I know. But I knew it was the teacher was like,
the teacher
real
was really
odd and have us doing like real odd things. Like it was like it was voice and articulation was the class, which is just hilarious in itself. That I paid college tuition to go to a voice articulation.
So like, what was the funniest voice you had to articulate?
Well, you had to. I mean, you had to like do these warm ups that were like, you know, you know, and that it was just odd. And I remember thinking like, I don't know if this is where I want to be.
Are these my people?
So I quickly made theater not my major.
That's
and then,
funny.
okay, you know what's so funny? You have a chive in your hair.
Oh, I have a chive in. Guys.
Okay, you want me to get it out?
Let's get it out.
You got parsley?
Okay, so
one more try, and then I think it fell out. Okay.
Guys, in like real world, would we have our hair down prepping meals? No.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know, I do. I always look like this.
You always look like that in the kitchen. I'm almost done with these burgers.
You got an extra one.
Well, I know. You have to open that. I think I didn't make these quite big enough, so actually I need some extra.
That's okay. You want it better to have more than not enough, for sure. Yeah. So we're just going with it.
So hopefully we've been a little entertaining while you've been making
Learn
your
about
burgers.
my hot second theater major.
Yeah.
So so I quickly unenrolled, and then I have a degree in communications, which turns
go.
out I am where I'm supposed to be.
I had speaking of teachers, so if anybody out there is a teacher, like, wow, we're not worthy. But my English teacher in high school was like totally my idol. And so I went into English education. I got an English education major. Never did anything with it. Well, I did though.
You do though.
Because now
you're
I'm
our editor.
an author and
yes.
writer and editor.
I used my communication, you used your English.
There we go. All right, guys, hopefully we got you through this burger making process, but I'm so excited about these burgers. Can't wait to make them.
Yes.
Okay, we'll see you. We're almost done. Last step.
We are on step 7, your final step. Woo! You're almost done. So all you're gonna do is make your burger kits. And again, we love the kits because then you just don't have to think about anything when you're making the meal from fresh. So all we're gonna do, I just got some grocery bags here just to keep it all together. And you're gonna take your container of pesto burgers or your freezer bag, whatever you chose to use. You're going to, I got a package of 12 slices of cheese. I split it in half. So pause and do that real quick if you haven't done that. Split your cheese in half. This is 6 slices, so 1 for each burger. And then, again, just putting the buns in the freezer like this. This is 8 buns, but it's like,
Can I say something here?
Yeah.
One of the things I do, actually, is I do push the air out.
That's
and
good.
like really get them tight.
Yep.
In there. But yeah, one of our testers was asking me like, can you really freeze buns?
Yeah.
And it's fine.
Yeah, they're fine.
It's fine as long as you squeeze that air out.
Yep. So same thing with this one. And now you have 2 burger meal kits, which we were just saying, this is a meal that like, we don't fight battles on.
Slam dunk
Right.
for our families.
Yep, there's no complaints when burgers are on the menu. So.
Okay, woo, take a deep breath. Join us back here in just a second. All right, congratulations. You just completed 6 amazing freezer meals in about an hour. And these are gonna be some good ones. I think you guys are gonna enjoy them.
Yep, every one of these I was like, yep, we'll eat that soon, eat that soon, eat that soon. So you can find all this information and more freezer prep sessions and access to more videos at onehourfreezerprep.com. And we are just so excited that you guys are joining us in this. So good job.
Yep, thanks. See you later.
Bye.